I'm sorry, Caitlin. I'm sorry.
Okay, get it straight.
It is a brother act, folks. I know we're in Canada, so we have to tell you, we're not going to break up on stage. This is part of the act. Don't worry. We're here to have a good time with you, and that's what we're going to give you. And what we're going to do is we're going to go right back to our dad's beginnings from Ozzie and Harriet. Folks, welcome to the show. Let's get this thing going. Check out your screens. Let's lower the lights.
Rick Nelson was born into a musical family in the era of the big bands on May 8th, 1940.
I think you're gorgeous, you're charming, darling, you're perfect, and then some.
Rick's father, Ozzie Nelson, was a band leader who topped the charts in 1935. His mother, Harriet, sang in Ozzie's band. Ricky was 4 years old in 1944 when his parents became stars of their own radio show, a comic version of their family life entitled The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet.
The original radio show had David and Ricky in it, but it was played by child actors who were 18 and 19 years old.
In 1949, Ozzie gave Ricky and his older brother David a chance to play themselves.
Rick got such tremendous laughs that my father really didn't want to stop.
Most of the girls in school like you?
Oh, sure, they all do. They think I'm cute.
Oh, Ricky, stop bragging. You're not cute at all.
I don't know. I was looking in the mirror today, and I'm not bad.
12-year-old Ricky was still getting laughs when on October 3rd, 1952, Ozzie and Harriet made its television debut.
I don't see what this argument is about in the first place.
It's just that I'm a jazz man and David's a square.
Ricky Nelson soon became a household name.
Here's another one song from a long time ago. I used to play around with hearts, the gates of my car. When I met that little girl, I knew that I was born for the fool. Oh yeah, I was a fool. For you, I was a fool. Oh yeah. She told me how she cared for me, and that we never part. So for the very first time, I gave away my heart for the fool. Oh yeah, I was a fool. For the fool, I was a fool. Oh yeah, she played around and teased me, but her care for me never lied. She pulled me close and kissed me, but her heart was full of lies. For the fool, oh yeah, I was a fool. For the fool, I was a fool. Oh yeah. Well, the next day she was gone, and I knew she lied to me. She left me with a broken heart and one victory. For the fool, oh yeah, I was a fool. For the fool, I was a fool. Oh yeah. Well, I played this game with other hearts, but I never thought I'd see the day when someone else would play us worse games to me. For the fool, oh yeah, I was a fool. For the fool, I was a fool. Oh yeah, for the fool, oh yeah, I was a fool. For the fool, I was a fool. Oh yeah.
Matthew, how to begin?
Well, the singing part of our dad's career after he was a teen star on television was because of a girl. Her name was Arlene. Arlene was a year older than our dad was, and they went to Hollywood High School in California, you know, when he wasn't on a soundstage, which was rare. For some reason, all the boys at Hollywood High wanted a date with Arlene. She was a sure thing. There was that. And so Arlene said yes to a date, and our dad went to go pick her up for a movie, and he was really nervous about this because she was a little icy. He said she got in the car, and he told us this story. To break the ice on his way to the movie, he turned on the car radio, and an Elvis Presley song was on the radio, and she just forgot that Ricky Nelson was driving the car and lost her mind over Elvis. Oh, I'm such an Elvis fan. So to save the date, our dad said the first thing came to his mind. Now this is 1956, this is way back. He said, well, I don't think Elvis is all that great, and anyways, I'm gonna be making a record. He had no plans to make a record, by the way, until she turned to him and laughed in his face. Oh, Ricky, give me a break, you can't sing. So he thought, if I'm gonna make one record to hand to this girl at school and say, now laugh, that's what he was gonna do. And his plan unfolded from there. Because he went to his local record store. I can see that some of you might remember record stores in the audience, right? Yeah, and it was called Wallach's Music City. It was at the corner of Hollywood and Vine in Hollywood there, a famous corner. And that's where they put his Hollywood Walk of Fame star in the sidewalk there. The store's long gone, but he used to go in there with his friends, and they had a demonstration booth that was kind of special, because if you were a kid and you had the money, you could sing a karaoke version of a song, pay a little bit of money, and they would record it onto a little 45 single. It was specifically designed by some genius to disintegrate after 30 spins on your turntable. So you'd have to go back and get another one. But our dad, that's all he needed. At first it was just to bring it to school, and then he thought about it. He said, nah, that's not good enough. How can I really make her eat her words? So he waited until his father got home. And we're talking about our grandfather, okay? It's Ozzy, and it's Ozzy Nelson, not Osbourne, the real TV dad, okay? Our grandfather was quite a guy. He wrote, produced, edited, directed, and starred in all 435 episodes of the show. So he was always looking for real life situations to write into a script, and our dad knew that. Everybody joked, it'll wind up in a script if you do it around Ozzy. By the way, he still holds the record in America as the youngest Eagle Scout in the Boy Scouts of America, which is their top level at 12. He had a law degree from Rutgers University, which was Ivy League at the time, so he wound up basically owning the Ozzy and Harriet show before the network even knew what hit him. And he invented fire and the wheel. You're welcome. Yeah. But anyways, our dad waited for our grandfather to get home and start writing his script in the den, which is what he did. And if you can imagine, a little record player, those ones that you kind of opened up, there was like a suitcase, being slid out onto the carpet outside our dad's bedroom in the hallway, and the needle dropping, and our dad's single, I'm Walking, playing on it. Ozzy, of course, came up to ask him what the noise was. Well, it's me singing, Pop. Oh, Rick, we gotta write a show about this. What a fantastic thing. And that's what they did. He wrote a script called Ricky the Drummer, where Ricky Nelson showed up at the town hall dance that week and stood in and sang a rhythm and blues number. By the way, they could not call it rock and roll on television back then because it wouldn't pass the censors in the US. And now we have the Kardashians. Perfect. And the cool thing was, our grandfather was smart enough to think that this thing called television, this brand new technology, might actually be very helpful in marketing music and records. Believe it or not, it was so new back then that the recording industry thought free milk and a cow. If kids can get it for free, why would they buy it? And our grandfather really was the first guy that said, I think you're backwards on this. They recorded the single for real. He was smart enough to get the singles out in stores. And he was right. It sold 1 million copies that week. It exploded. It was just completely nuts. And our dad told us everything changed overnight for him. I mean, he knew what it was like growing up famous. He was famous. He was working on the television show since he was 8 years old. But he said when he went to school the next day, he was rock and roll famous. All of a sudden, all the girls in geometry class wanted to rip his pants off for some reason. And he said 2 weeks later, there was a knock at the door at the Nelson house. This is true. And he was the lucky guy that was there to open the door to find Arlene standing in front of him to ask him why he wasn't calling her anymore. He said that was the greatest ego moment of his life. Well, Arlene, I'm just late for the recording studio. I'm late to cut another record, but I just don't have time to date you anymore. Thanks, but maybe I'll see you around. Okay, take care, bye-bye, and shut the door. Yes. It's entirely possible, by the way, that Arlene got wise and retired and moved to Toronto and is in here right now. So if you are Arlene, thank you so much and eat your heart out. Here's another clip. Check this out.
Ricky Nelson sings. This came as quite a surprise on April 10th, 1957, when unsuspecting viewers tuned into the adventures of Ozzy and Harriet. Near the end of the show, brash, wisecracking Ricky revealed a passion for rock and roll that would continue to burn for the rest of his life. The response was electrifying. 1 million copies of On One were sold the week after the broadcast, and for the next 6 years, only Elvis had more chart hits than Ricky Nelson.
That was back when Elvis was king, and Ricky was the crown prince of rock and roll.